Thank you so much, everybody, for coming in here tonight. I'm very excited. We have some special guests. As you guys know, my name is Jorie Myers. I am based out of Atlanta, Georgia. I own a couple companies, but, the one that I operate on a day-to-day basis is Atlanta Dispatch LLC. AtlantaDispatch.org is the website. And, since I knew that I was going to be transitioning from corporate America to become an entrepreneur, I had the honor and pleasure to start the Transportation and Logistics Clubhouse. And by way of me doing that, it has, the reason why I did it in the first place is to get a lot of questions answered that I needed to know. I dispatched for a corporation, but I didn't know how to do it for myself, all the moving pieces. And this clubhouse came together, and allowed me to meet so many amazing people who are already operating. And that kind of is how we got here. We're kind of like the largest transportation group on Clubhouse. People tell me that all the time, but it's exciting to be here. And we have two amazing guests tonight too. We have Shaq and we have Chris. So please, guys, I would love if you could introduce yourself, like your name, your company, and how long you've been in transportation or logistics, and maybe a fun fact about yourself. So, Shaq, I saw you came off mute. Go ahead, brother. Hit me with all those.
Shaq Thomas, originally from Montgomery, Alabama. Been in the Atlanta area for the past 11 years. Been a great experience, great move. I'm glad I did it. So for the past 4 years, I've been in OTR trucking. And then recently, within the last year, I got into the last mile sector. Fun fact, I'm just now starting to come out of my shell. And, today is going to be that day that I really put some things on the table.
Okay. Yeah, I love to hear that, man. And, of course, Atlanta welcomes you. You here now. I mean, you went to Georgia State. That's my alma mater as well. So, I can't wait to meet you in person just so that we can, hoop and all those kind of things. But yeah, brother, welcome to the stage. Very, very happy to have you here. And Chris, please introduce yourself, man. Your name, your company, how long you've been in transportation and logistics, and a fun fact about yourself. Okay. We might not have Chris available at this very moment, but that's all good. So Shaq, when you say that you are about to, you have been in the shell and you about to come out, you mean just business wise or just personality as a whole?
Yeah, just a whole, man. Once I meet someone, I always can connect the dots, but just put myself out on social media, just letting other people see what I do behind the scenes. It's just something that I just started to do this year. So, the culture needs it. So I'm here to offer it.
I got you, man. And I'm very excited to have y'all because, you have been able to operate on a very, very large level now for years, just in this industry. And you have learned a lot of good information. So the fact that you are here tonight and you guys are here to teach other folks, that right there is very commendable. I really wanted to, talk to Chris before we transition to the next portion. But, we're just going to keep it rolling. So, when it comes to your truck, your company right now, well, Shaq, what's the company that you actually represent?
CCM Trucking and Logistics, LLC.
Testing.
Okay. Hey, Chris, we got you. All right. So you said CCM?
Yep, Trucking and Logistics, LLC, and Parliament Express. That's the last mile sector.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Chris, you available, brother?
Yeah, I'm here, man. What's going on?
Cooling. Just very happy to have you both on the stage. We had a brief introduction from Shaq, and essentially now that you're here, I was going to ask that you introduce yourself, brother. Tell us your name, your company name, how long you've been in transportation, logistics, and a fun fact.
Okay. Well, good afternoon. My name is Chris Bright. I'm from Jacksonville, Florida, born and raised, still here today. I've been in transportation for the past 2.5 years, specifically in the middle mile and last mile sector is where I got started. I love the industry. Fun fact about me is this is my second go at business. My first go at business didn't go as planned. My first time as an entrepreneur didn't go as planned, so I did have to enter myself back into corporate America and exit again. So this is my second, journey into entrepreneurship, being self-employed and creating jobs, and so far so good.
Oh man, that is a beautiful thing right there. And with that first time, I know that you learned a lot of things. I had to even get over this myself because this is not my first time at entrepreneurship. I had the company, thought I was doing a big living in Dubai, operate out of there, but it didn't go well, and it took me years to realize that those things that I experienced, they weren't failures, they were just lessons. So I had to apply those things to what I'm currently doing, and I'm sure that's exactly the approach that you've been able to take as well.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Man, got to get back up, keep it moving.
Yes, sir. And look, so I know that we spoke the other day just in preparation for this opportunity to speak here now to talk about start small, end big. And, what I took from the conversation that I really wanted to start with is, as a dispatcher, and I was talking to you guys, I know you're doing pretty good. You know what I mean? So the fact that I dispatch box trucks, semis, and all those kind of things, I know that finding freight for box trucks has been a little, challenging at times. So I approached you guys like, with your situation that you have going over there, I know that, box trucks and Sprinter van, cargo vans, they need a system. You know what I mean? If you can put them in a system, they can flourish, but you got to have that system. And I was approaching you with like, hey, man, if I know some folks, can I just send them your way so you can keep them moving? And you said yes, but you let me know that the entire purpose of, start small and big is not just to, give somebody a fish. It's to teach them how to fish. It's to empower them. And, you said that, and I really, I felt like that set the tone for the conversation. And I want people here to know that's exactly what your intention is to really just put people on so that they can grow the businesses themselves. So thank you for letting me know that was your mindset up front because, I definitely respect it and appreciate it. So I wanted to also, because we're on that, I want to ask this one question. This is kind of different, but at the same time, it's along the lines of knowing that people need to empower themselves. Can you both, or one of you two, from your perspective, what is the value add of attending conferences? I want people to be on that train of thought at the very beginning of this conversation. So can one of you touch on that, or both of you? What's the value add of attending conferences?
So on my end, I think the value add is just, the experience, right? All things included, from the information that you are able to come across, as well as the relationships. The relationships is a huge takeaway. And I'm one, that truly believes in the thought process that, your network is everything, because, you have to have resources and help along the way. So for me, attending conferences and taking courses and just staying, always developing your business acumen, the biggest thing is just the experience, because all experiences build on top of each other and they all contribute to the next. So as you grow your education, it makes you better prepared for the conversations to come. When you meet those decision makers, when you meet those people in power that, pretty much can help you, build your business and get to that next level, that it just adds value in that perspective.
Oh, thank you for that, brother. Shaq, did you want to touch on that as well?
Yeah. So I'm also agree with the experience. And then also, each one that I have attended in the past, I go in with a clear mind because it gives me the opportunity, to not only add more value to what I already know, but also just, let me brush up on some of the skills that I probably left in the past that I need to revisit as far as people wise.
Oh, I respect that. It definitely, being put in those situations really brings out all of those places where you can get better. Like it calls them to the front line, so you have to deal with them in those moments. So I definitely agree with you there. And now that we've had the introductions and we've been able to explain where we are in this conversation, in this approach of empowering each other. Let's talk about your program. Start small, end big. I would love to hear a description from either of you brothers. What is Start Small, End Big?
All right, so so Shaq and I both, have focus points at this point in time in growing, our presence in our respective surrounding cities in the last mile, portion of the industry, and throughout this experience, we have just kind of seen the potential of this industry and all that it has to offer, and just the huge, opportunities in it. So that pretty much put us to the position where, like everything, we see power in network and power in relationships and people with similar mindset, people with equal opportunities and skill sets that can allow us to kind of leverage each other, to better things. So in that, we wanted to be able to, not only do that, but also educate people about the opportunity that's in last mile, because it's something that, isn't looked at as a glamorous thing, mostly because people don't know about it. So what we wanted to do was just prepare group coaching where we can teach people and enable people to be able to, start by researching opportunity, building relationships, understanding how the operation should go, and basically building last mile presence in whatever city they are in across the country. So throughout this boot camp, we really want to, lead with education, right? Lead with industry education, understanding the industry that you're getting into, the benefits of starting from a position like this and growing into a bigger position, and offering an alternative to how most people see the only way to enter the transportation industry is through, big trucks and large investments. But, there are opportunities out there where you can start a system, again, based on local business, local opportunity, and just grow, not only your business, but within your community and everywhere. So that's what we intend to, do throughout the boot camp. It's a 4-week group sessions. We teach A to Z, all these things, all these experiences, right, that we've gained while building our fleet and scaling our fleet from, 2 vehicles to 18 plus vehicles. I'm looking to double. So we want to give all that information experience so we can give people the tools they need to, again, do the research, and find out where the opportunities are in their area. And then from a wise and educated perspective, be able to make decisions as it goes to, building out their last mile delivery fleet.
Oh, that's awesome, man. And I'm here for it because I understand the importance of it. Everybody understands that in transportation, we took a hit in early 2020, right? When COVID hit, but then people started ordering stuff. People didn't stop. The consumerism kind of grew, and with that, the last mile grew, and it's steadily growing. And the fact that you guys are here and preparing yourself to be able to grow with the industry along with the other big players is very commendable. And I like the fact that you guys are trying to give people the tools and give them the actual bringing light to the fact that this is something that they can get into. So, with you guys, starting from 2 vehicles and now being at 18 with the looks of getting to have more vehicles. I did want to ask that question. How long did it take to get from 2 vehicles to 18?
It was about like 30 days.
What?
Like 30 days, yes. Because, we already had the contract in place as far as, leasing equipment. Like, once we got the green light on that, we'll be able to, deliver anywhere from 600 to 1,000 pieces a day. Hey, we just pulled the trigger. So, it was just a matter of, getting equipment in place, and then from there, hiring the right people to do the job.
Right. So, I mean, you just said something that was kind of like unheard of for just a regular person getting into this industry. Sounds like you guys had like, some type of you have previous relationships already.
Right.
Um, okay. So like, because me, like, I'm even still like thinking about how somebody can go from 2 vehicles to 18 vehicles in a month. But I guess if you have the contract that support it, you have really no barriers preventing you from scaling that much. And what kind of growing pains did you guys face from starting and from growing so quickly?
Oh man, well, man, there were plenty of growing pains going through it. One thing that we did have, going to it was a team, just of knowledgeable resources. So just within our group, we have, this is our specialty, right? So we have different experiences to share with each other, to kind of, again, share best practices, what didn't work for you, so that way we can pretty much evaluate things and move them forward. So even with a quicker, right, scaling fleet, kind of how we did, there's a lot of different things that go into it, because that can sound like a huge task for some people. But at the same time, we got different variables that work into our favor. Like one thing is that we collectively came together as a group and we built this fleet amongst two metropolitan cities. So, it's different, and at the one of the, the fastest paced time in the entire year, which is peak season between November and the beginning of January. So, while we understood, what the challenge was, we also understood what the opportunity available was. It's a very dense time to create a lot of revenue, right? A lot of income to set ourselves up, for handling a fleet to that size. So, but one of the growing pains, of course, was sometimes growing too fast, not understanding quite how the dip really happens after the peak season, right? It's great to plan and project your income and all your revenue based on what you foresee during peak season. Everybody's going to do great during peak season, right? That's when it's the peak. They don't care who's carrying it at that point in time. They just want somebody to carry it. But where champions are made is really after the peak season. That's where the dust begins to settle and those that have really been preparing begin to shine, because that's when the relationship investments that you've made really, show themselves. That's when the preparation that you've done really begins to show itself. That's when the expense planning and all these different things begin to show themselves. And, but, so some of the growing pain was just like being patient during those processes, not just throwing in the towel because the month didn't end up the exact way we wanted to do, and kind of understanding why we had the month how we had, or why it was like this. So, growth is something that all businesses want to see, but it is something that you can't take on too quickly, and it can put you in some circumstances that you have to be able to navigate through. So that to me is one of the biggest things. The challenges is just knowing when to grow, when not to grow, when to hold, hold your cards, so to say, and when to fold them. So that to me is like one of the biggest things that has just stood out for us over the past, 10 months or so, while we've really been ramping up our package delivery service.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. And would you say that would you say that leasing vehicles versus purchasing vehicles can also help with the, not understand with the dip that happens after a peak season?
Definitely. Because it gives you the opportunity, to, upsize or downsize when needed. But, most importantly, you have to make sure you have that in your agreement as well, because, you could get tricked.
Okay. And what you mean by that? Like, what type of language does one need to have in their agreement? How does one approach that conversation so that, the leaser, the person that's the company that you're going through understands, what you're talking about, and, you're not trying to get held, you're not trying to get stuck holding this bag.
So for us, it was a bit easy because we had a sales guy that we did, previous business with. So with him having the option to provide this equipment to us, it was kind of a little easier. But going into it, definitely, you want to have some kind of language that says that, hey, in case my business does not perform based on my expectations, what are my options? Can I return this equipment? Would I have to take some kind of pay cut, or whatever the case may be in regards to your deposit that you have to put down to obtain the equipment? So I mean, it's a few different ways it can be done, but you definitely want to make sure that language is in place.
I agree because they say 80% of trucking companies go out of business in the first year. You know what I mean? I don't know how many of them had that agreement, and they probably got stuck holding the bag. On the flip side of that. So I appreciate y'all even saying that, because that wasn't necessarily on my radar, because I'm at the start small spot right now. I'm trying to get my first piece of equipment myself. So what type of advice do you guys have to somebody like me?
Man, just that that's the mindset right there. Don't be afraid to get it out the mud. Everybody's journey. I think sometimes we get caught into perception and what we see day to day. It's great to see someone's highlights and where they're at now, but we got to remember where people started from. I don't think there's anybody on the call, and I see people on the call that are in my group and that have dozens of units, and nobody started with the dozen of units. And you just got to be willing to just give it all and know why you're getting into it. So to me, it's just lead with commitment, right? Lead with commitment and be dedicated to the research and just doing what it takes. And if you're not getting into it looking to hit a home run overnight, then that's the mentality you need to have, because and if it's worth having, are worth something that you can really lean on for years to come, and have a business that you can pass over or one day sell, right? It's going to take time to establish that foundation. So for me, it's just don't lead with someone else's results. Lead with like your reasoning, because if we were just trying to get a quick bag, we probably wouldn't be doing, vans, right? We have the resources at this point in time where the same way we got 18 vans, we can get 18 or whatever we want, to be honest. So that's not the thing, but we're just looking at it from a bigger picture. So we stay focused on our game, and we don't step out of our lane for nobody. That can be making that much money, that's fine. But what we specialize in is getting packages to the people. And as long as we're focused on our focus, that's what it's about. We want you have to try to knock us out of our lane. And at that point in time, when we're so focused on our lane, you won't, right? So to me, anyone getting started, just, be prepared for that. And just, I say it all the time, but just, keep your head down and stay focused on the focus, and you'll be all right.
Hey, man, you said, hey, you're a great interviewer. Let me just throw that out there. But, with that being said, let me just ask this question. How did Amazon Relay kind of influence your last mile operation as a whole?
Oh man, well that's where I got my wings at, man. So when I got into my first acquisition was a box truck, and it was specifically for Amazon. So that was a gift and a curse, now that I look at it, right? It was a gift because I was able to hit the ground running, and get experience. And it was a curse because I became very dependent on it, and I didn't expect the bottom to get pulled from under me, but it did. And I had to pivot and make decisions, and make difficult decisions at that, and just change from where I thought I would be able to build a business. The one thing that Amazon Relay taught me is that you can't build a scalable business off of the load board. And that's just the truth. So that's what it taught me, and at the same time, like I said, it just really showed me that the power, and it made me. So when the pandemic started and everything was going awry, it's like, for me, I seen it as an opportunity, because I knew that this was what this was going to mean. I knew it because before the pandemic, it was already all about the last mile. I remember having conversations with my close partner, DeMarco Thomas, and that's what he would always tell me, like, last mile, last mile, last mile. And then this was before the pandemic, right? And then when this happened, it was like, man, this is going to be gasoline, and that's what it proved itself to be. So really being in Amazon, being connected to that, it just shows you the power, and just like it puts it into real life, like visible, like you can visibly see how much stuff is being ordered. You know what I mean? When you're moving truckloads of freight to Gainesville, Florida, or these little smaller surrounding cities, it's like, man, like these stuff do have to get to other places. So it makes you understand like the logistics chain a lot more, and have a lot of respect for what happens after the goods meet the warehouse. You know, there's still a lot of work that happens to get to get the package to the home. So for me, like Amazon just kind of uncovered all of those different things and really made me like realize, like, you know, although I didn't think I was going to get started in box trucks, but it kind of made me thankful that I did get started with box trucks, because it's like, man, if I would have gotten started anywhere else, I wouldn't have been able to realize, you know, how much of a good opportunity this is that I'm in, you know, right now. So Amazon's been great just for that reason.
Yes, sir. You hit that one on the head, especially to understand and appreciate what you have right now and how attractive this operation is. You know, I would say I'm a dispatcher, as I've already stated to the folks, but in saying that, I'm basically trying to paint the picture of knowing how challenging it's been finding box truck freight at times, and, you know, any of that expedite freight. So I can imagine the same challenges with box trucks are there with sprinter vans or cargo vans. And when you come upon a system that allows you consistency, well, consistency says that, you know, you can scale on consistency. It's the spot market that you can't necessarily scale on. So you said that you can't scale on the Amazon load board, and I agree with that 100%, especially, you know, after speaking to so many Atlanta-based box trucks drivers who are on Amazon Relay. I've seen those rates, and there's no way that you can scale on those bad boys. So what would you say the spot market actually did to help you prepare for the last mile sector? And that can go to either one of you guys. You can go to Shaq or Chris, but like, you know, just being in the box truck spot market, how did that actually allow you to prepare for, you know, either the situations of after coming from peak season, what to do, or did being in the box truck spot market do anything for you? You know, just let me know.
Okay, I can go on that one too, because Shaq has been running those big things for a minute.
Right, and we're definitely going to get to those questions. You know, I got
he's
so many questions
the
about the
OTR
semis
king,
too.
man. Yeah. So, but from my perspective, right, with the box trucks in the spot market, you know, to me, it's honestly one of those things where, if you allow, you know, peaks and valley, well, the peaks with Amazon Relay are the good nights, kind of blurry your vision and not focus on like really creating a stable, consistent opportunity for yourself, and looking for relationships that can hold you over when it goes down. You know, you just setting yourself up for you know, a bad experience. So, you know, the biggest thing for me that it taught me was that one, I can make a lot of money in a little bit of time, just in the market, right? And with box trucks in general. Two, it taught me that, you know, when you're running for cheap, you're always going to have bad results, because no matter what, the truck is going to break. And if you're running their freight for them for free, you're basically doing them a favor. So when it's time for you to really put down and handle business, you're not going to be able to take care of the things you got to take care of. And you've been, you know, just doing whatever for so long that, you know, you don't know how to go to really manage and maintain. And three, just like I said, it's really taught me the value of relationships, because, you know, when the market drops for Amazon, it drops hard, and Amazon is Relay with the box trucks is so it's not, I won't say saturated, but it's a lot of people, right? Everybody get a box truck, think they're gonna go to Amazon and make a lot of money. So where there's there's 1,000 other people. So they don't care about the rates. They just know that somebody's going to take it, right? So I was just fortunate enough that I had done some relationship digging. I had inside contacts and information that let me kind of be prepared for it. But if I didn't have that, you know, I don't know where my business would be at, because I wouldn't have survived. So it's, you know, it just really, really taught me that you can't just depend on that to be your bread and butter. Like it just doesn't work like that. And you know, for those that are trying it, you know, good luck and best of luck to you. But I just know from personal experience that it's a hard you know, dig to climb out of when you become so dependent on the Amazon spot market when it's good and you've done nothing to prepare for when it's bad.
I agree. Thank you so much for touching on that, brother. And you know, Shaq, let me ask you this question. Uh, you know, what are the major difference between the last mile model and, you know, the semi truck model that you've been running for years now?
I would say cost.
Okay.
Running tractor trailers, you know, the cost is probably 3-4 times greater than, you know, operating a cargo van. So I would definitely say cost.
Mm-hmm.
And the second piece would be, you know, from a driver perspective, you know, it's so much easier to find someone qualified to drive a cargo van than it is to operate, you know, a piece of equipment that's 80,000 pounds.
Right. You know, and I did want to bring up that, you know, that fact because, you know, it's well publicized about us being in this, you know, this driver shortage. And, you know, what are some tips, if anything, you know, on finding a driver for the expedite, you know, for the Sprinter van, cargo van situation?
Oh, that's my thing, man. So as far as the Sprinter vans, I mean, for me, you know, it's all about, you know, giving someone a scenario, you know, what they would do in the worst case, you know, situation. And then secondly, the way I kind of look at it is, you know, like I said, you know, it's much easier to get someone to drive a Sprinter van than it is a tractor trailer. So, you kind of have the opportunity to you know, to do background checks, you know, check MVRs, which you're going to do on both sides. But on a cargo van side, it's a bit easier because it's some things that you don't really have to stress about that you have to worry about on the tractor trailer side. I mean, some of the things that I have used is, you know, Indeed, Craigslist, and then most importantly, word of mouth. My drivers bring drivers. That's my go-to thing, and as a reward, what I do, I give my drivers an incentive for that.
Okay, yeah, man. The purest form of marketing is word of mouth. Somebody talking you up to somebody they know or don't know. The fact that it's coming from somebody means so much more than, you know, any other medium in which it's being, you know, delivered. So that word of mouth is huge. So I know exactly where you're coming from with that, and that's a great thing to be able to, you know, give them that incentive when they are helping your business. It's kind of like giving them an understanding that they're a part of your business. They're there to help you grow, and you're there to compensate them for their additional efforts. So that's what's up. So when you actually, you know, get a driver, you know, excuse me, when you get a candidate, what are some of those indicators that make a good fit for your operation?
So once we got past the background check, of course, you know, we conduct road tests. Other than that, I kind of do like a customer relation, you know, questionnaire with them in regards to, you know, how to approach the customer, you know, how to deliver a package successfully. And based on those two, you know, scenarios, I kind of make a decision like, hey, that's the guy for my team, or maybe not right now.
Okay. Yeah, I respect that. So yeah, when it comes to, well, yeah, let me just ask this question because I know that Shaq, coming from the semi game, there's a lot of compliance pieces that, you know, you have to adhere to, paperwork, you know, do you guys have to adhere to those same things? And like, when I say compliance, let's talk about like drug and alcohol testing. Do you guys have to test your employees?
Not always, but I highly I recommend it, but not always. It just depends on what 3PL you may be working with, and also, you know, it just comes down to how you want to run your company, you know. But for the
Right.
most part, no, you don't have to do that.
Okay. So that means that you don't necessarily have to keep that, you know, that paperwork. So that's not something. What about hours of service? Is that something that you got to keep a record of?
If you expedite over the road, but if it's just local, you know, running anywhere from, you know, 50 to 100 miles, you know, radius, no.
Okay. And what about that ELD equipment? Do you guys got to have those in the trucks
No, sir, not if you
or
local.
van? Okay. Well, yeah. You know what I mean. I just wanted to run through those pieces because those are big differences with the semis. All of those things got to be in place.
Yep.
Otherwise, you getting yanked. I tell you that right now. So, but what? So also when it comes to like the margins, you say that the cost was the biggest thing, the biggest difference between semis and being with these Sprinter vans. But what about the margins? What are they looking like in comparison?
So I mean, the margin it's with the vans, it's a lot greater. I mean, when you look at the gross numbers, of course, on the tractor side, the gross number is going to be a lot higher than it is on the cargo van. But then when you get down to your net profit, you able to walk away with a lot more. Outside of mechanical and driver expenses, it's just better for me.
Okay, so when it comes, so is that like when you have these dedicated opportunities that you guys have? You know what I mean? Like, do you feel like the margins are greater when you know what your trucks are your vans are going to be doing, or you think it's in any situation they're better?
I would say, yeah, just being able, to look at the operation and see, what you're going to do day to day based on your weeks prior. You kind of can make
Uh
decisions and know, where your numbers going to fall at week's end.
Right. So is the insurance about the same? I mean, is insurance for these Sprinter vans comparable to semis, or is it less just because it's not as risky behavior or risky piece of equipment?
Less because of behavior, and then also, cost wise, a typical van probably only going to run you between 12,000, 30,000 brand new. So yeah.
Okay. And okay, cool. Well, I hear you there. Um, I mean, I know that you guys got these pre-existing relationships, but for the folks that are listening, tell them about their experience, something that they can expect if they're looking for equipment. Do you think it's going to be as challenging as it is to get a semi in today's market, or you think it's a little bit easier to find a Sprinter van or a box truck?
So I think no matter what, just across the board, it's just a shortage of equipment in general. It's like everything else. It's a shortage in everything. So you're gonna even in the resale market where you're looking at probably buying private. You got privately sold equipment. Going for far greater than it would 2 years ago, 3 years ago. So. No matter what, I think it's going to be a search for anything you probably can come across more feasible, right? Like brand new, equipment, a lot easier, with the standard makers, the Dodges, the Fords, Mercedes, and things like that. So I think, again, just in general, all commercial type equipment, is a shortage, and it's going for, I won't say necessarily a premium, but you don't have a lot of bargaining power these days when it comes to acquisition of equipment, leasing equipment, anything else like that, because they understand it's a shortage of it. It's not a lot new stuff being made. And, so they pretty much hold the market right now, similar to a lot of things that are ongoing. So I think the biggest thing is just, understanding what you have available to start with, and kind of determining the business you're going to get into based on, the revenue you got to get started, the revenue you're willing to not have for a while, and, just having realistic expectations about how you expect that money and your operation to work for you.
Okay. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. And I'm asking that question specifically because, once I learned about how it's a little bit cleaner to have the lease, the full service lease where, within that package, any maintenance issues, you can just take it back to that dealer and they have to perform that maintenance. Once I learned that, I was like, oh man, that's a situation for me. But coming in as a business owner, but not somebody that's operated and had assets in the past, they let me know that it would be a little bit more challenging for me to get that type of situation, especially in today's market. So that's what I was really asking that question. Do you have any advice, just for people who are interested in getting full service lease programs or, plans, and they are not operating on a big level right now?
Because I had some clients that similar, issues. For me personally, I think the easiest thing to do is lease on to someone short term, maybe a year or two. And what it does, it gives you the opportunity to learn the system better, and also, give your authority and MC that agent where, when you do want to branch off, you can go to a Ryder or Penske, and show where you have been in this kind of system before, and that, you're able to, survive it on your own.
Okay. No, I respect that. I definitely respect that. So with that, construct, doing that, you're leasing on to somebody else, so you're running under their MC number. But you're saying in the meantime, you are getting your own MC established. So you got your own insurance, probably the bare minimums if you're going to be leasing on to somebody else's at the same time. Okay. I can dig that actually, because even right now, even to this day, I'm dispatching, drivers, specifically box trucks, what I'm talking about right now. And they're so new that, nearly, I wouldn't say not too many brokers want to work with them. You know what I mean?
Right.
People are less than 90 days and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So one thing,
Yeah.
that's one thing that's a benefit, Jorie, is that, there's a lot of people that want to get started in, when it comes to getting those heavier pieces of equipment, the box trucks, the tractor trucks. The one thing that is an expense for everybody, and not a small expense, is investing in having that DOT authority, that the legal, everything you need to be able to be a carrier for hire. So one of the biggest and best benefits in, again, start small and big mindset, right, is that you avoid a lot of those things getting started in most case scenarios, right? So this is essentially, again, looking from an entire different perspective of transportation. You're really focusing in on last mile, and by definition, last mile is essentially just the process for the good to get to the person after they've ordered it, and it's on that way. So we're talking about, the very, very final portions of the transportation process where you are delivering a good to the customer. And when we're talking about doing it within the confines of the city, somewhere local, we don't have those different challenges, right? So we're not, that's not the common thing on our mind is compliance, because we're doing less liability driven type. This is more so about service. So one thing I just want to be clear with everybody, whether you're looking at don't know what is last mile, what they talking about, regardless, like we really specialize in delivering packages to people's homes. Like that's what we do for a lot of different reasons, and we just so happen to grow and scale in it. And like I said, and not only that, we recognize that a lot of things that stop people from getting to that second year in business, a lot of things that stop people from even getting started, a lot of those things you do not have to deal with getting started when you start from this, like lower hanging fruit entry level position. So this is a place where you can get in, master one, and then come great at a lot of them, because you just become repetitive and you master that process and you duplicate that process, and then you have a system, and before you know it, not only are you, your growth per day, your delivery is growing, you have people that are going to seek you, that are looking for you, because in every city where there's homes, where there's Wi-Fi, there's packages that need to be delivered. So to us, this is like, it's much easier access, less red tape to go through. So that's one of the things I want to make clear with everybody when you thinking about last mile. It's not that side of it where you have a lot of things and bells and whistles. We don't have to have $1 million liability policy, in order for us to operate our business. And that's one of the largest expenses that people deal with month to month is the cost of their insurance. So we're not dealing with a lot of those different challenges. Our challenge is figuring out, how can we build a team that can consistently deliver and hit our marks every day, so we are consistently getting optimal customer satisfaction between both of our customers. One of our customers is the person that's receiving the good. The other customer is the person that put the good on the dock for us to take it and trust us to get it to the person.
I got you, brother. And you hit a lot of points in that. One thing that it made me think about was when you said that you don't have to have some of those same high coverage levels as, with the box truck or, that a semi would have to have. What's the minimum? Is it 750K? Is that what you guys got to have?
No way. 100,000, 300,000, 50.
Okay. So explain that. When you say those numbers, is that general liability? Is that cargo? What are those numbers representing, brother?
So when you looking at it, so the 100,000 is just going to be your damage.
Okay.
Going to be your body injury, property damage. Your 50,000, that's going to be your uninsured motorist body injury. And then your 50,000 is going to be your uninsured motorist body injury. So that's minimal. And and that you don't even have to get a commercial policy for that. That could be the same insurance company that you use for your personal vehicle. It's that simple.
Right. Now, when I was talking about the minimum, but I didn't clarify this. I was thinking, somebody get a Sprinter van, they brand new, they want to get their MC.
Okay.
What type of, levels would they have to, have in order to get their MC, even if they're, operating a Sprinter van?
I think those will probably be the same applicable guidelines for all pieces of equipment that have active authority.
Yep.
It'll be the same thing. So again,
Okay.
when we look at where's the biggest bang for the buck that we're going to get out of these vans? Are we going to find consistent working vans taking things across the state line? And if the question to that is no, then why invest in an authority MC if that's not what we're going to need? Are we going to get more day-to-day value out of building a system to deliver X amount of packages and grow that point in relationships so that we can grow with the seasons? If the answer to that is yes, then we move forward with that. So the biggest value, it's great. Hats off to the people that make, great money in cargo vans doing expedited delivery. That's excellent. Right. But for us, the value for us was there in like getting into the system, because the problem is that e-commerce, the rate that people are ordering packages exceeds people's capability to deliver. And by that, I mean like even the larger companies, the FedEx, UPS, USPS, DHL, these people, they can't keep up. They have warehouses that they have to load outside because the packages won't fit inside. Right. So that's the problem. So we wanted to solve a problem. And that's why, again, last mile has been our focus, because we foresee growth in it.
Right. I definitely agree with you. It is not going anywhere. And the boot camp is called Start Small, End Big. How can they get more information? How can the folks who are listening right now get more information about this boot camp and join, sign up? How can they do that?
Yeah, well, our website is startsmallandbig.com. I'm on Instagram at Last Mile Legend. My partner Shaq here is Grind Hard Shaq. It's an underscore there somewhere. I know I messed that up last.
Grind underscore.
So it's Grind underscore Shaq. So my partner and I, we have information and post all over our Instagram pages. So if not, go follow us to keep up. Even if not for the boot camp, we're always putting out free information. We're always hiring. But for more information, again, startsmallandbig.com is the website. There's a link in my link tree to go to the boot camp registration. It is a 4-week group coaching. So for the next 4 or 5 Thursdays, because we usually add an extra class, but we'll lock in every Thursday evening for a lesson presentation, walking you through the steps that is needed for you to find opportunity, apply for the opportunity, and execute on the opportunity in a professional manner, and also be able to be aware of what the things you're going to have to identify to grow your business. So we go over everything, again, from building relationships to how to invest in those relationships and with the decision makers, to how to pursue equipment, leasing versus buying, all those things that, are required for you to be able to feel comfortable and confident that when you get done, you can start your fleet and grow your fleet from that position. That's what we'll equip you with. We have a private Facebook group that is about 100 people strong right now with all type of last mile fleet owners that are just getting started, sharing best practices. Shaq and I are very active in that group as well, so it's a lot of value in it. So this isn't a situation where you come through and then we just leave you out to the wolves. You come through, you're still in our group. You'll have lifetime access to the replays because every live session, every live Zoom call is recorded. So you'll get access to that. You'll get all the playbacks. You'll get the cliff notes of it. You'll be able to watch it at any time. And like I said, just kind of stay in the loop. But it is a full out A to Z, tutorial on how to get started and get prepared to start your business, to get your van fleet going, and just kind of grow from there. So we did make a special code. The boot camp itself costs $12.99 for the 4-week boot camp. However, we did make a special code for your community. It is the code is INSPIRE. If you use that INSPIRE code, it takes $300 off. For about $1,000, you can get basically a 4-week instruction manual on how to start your last mile delivery fleet. And just for higher number purposes, with these vans, we look for these vans to maybe cost us $800 a month or so for the cost of the piece of equipment. And we look for them to generate us about, 8,000 plus. So, it's a great way to, kind of get in, build cash flow, right? Understand how to manage the cash flow, build relationships with your credit union, and just kind of get started, So it truly is all about start small and big. That's the mindset that we try to lay out for everybody to give you the tools. And also, and just in closing, with every session, we give you objective tasks to get done, because this isn't something that we can do the work for you. It's something that we want you to be able to get out, do the work, do the research, and apply the knowledge. And we do have results. We do have people that have started and have opportunities going on, pursuing their second and third vans and getting going. So, again, if you're looking to create jobs in your community, create income and build your business, this is a great opportunity for you to lock in with, with some of the best to do it.
All right. Hey, Chris, I appreciate you for closing like that, giving us that summary of what start small and big is. Shaq, did you want to add anything to that, brother?
Just most importantly, I just want everyone to know that this is not one of those opportunities that you just kind of just get in, start, and turn your back to. As the owner, you want to be, active in this, and if you can't do it, pretty much just have someone in place that can. Because for the most part, your greatest part of this is going to be just dealing with people and just simply, delivering packages. So if you're not strong on the people portion of this, definitely jump into the boot camp so we can teach you, that skill, so you can be the best that you want to be.
Oh, I got you. I definitely got you there. So I did have a couple more questions. It's nothing crazy, but like with what you guys got going on, do you ever have to look at load boards, or is your stuff completely separate from load boards?
Completely separate.
We're not looking at load boards.
Yeah.
Okay, and there you have it. That's the point I wanted to make, because I preach that this is a relationship game, and once you also have that relationship that gives you access to that system, you don't have to use the load board anymore. The load board is not a bad thing for the folks who need it or are using it. It's a great filler, but the ultimate goal is to not have to be on the load board anymore. So I wanted to ask that question specifically for that. And at this point, I did want to bring up some folks to ask questions. I want you all to know that tonight is being recorded. So before you raise your hand, I want you to know that tonight is being recorded. So you're going to be recorded, and this thing is going to get posted. So come with your questions direct and correct. But, I'm about to open it up for the room. Where is this brother? Okay. So I'm going to invite this brother up to speak, and then I'm going to open it up to everybody. Hey, what's up, Thomas? How you doing today?
I'm doing okay. How you doing, bud? I'm sorry I'm late joining. I was preparing for my Zoom call tomorrow.
Oh, it's all good, man. It's all good. Thomas, welcome to the stage. I know you know these brothers right here, but I also know that you got a situation coming up. Did you want to ask any questions of Shaq and Chris before you talked about your opportunity?
No, sir, I don't. You guys did an excellent job on delivering that message.
Okay, bet. So,
Very proud
Thomas,
of
go
what you
ahead,
guys are
man.
doing.
Yes,
Thank you.
sir.
So my
All
name
right,
my
Tom.
name is Thomas Johnson. I'm the owner of Unite Us Logistics, which is an asset-based carrier based out of Memphis, Tennessee, and I'm also the owner of Unite Us Global, which is a freight brokerage, a 3PL. And we have the largest minority consortium in the country. So what we do is we recruit minority-owned trucking companies, teach them the insurance requirements that it takes to do business with large corporations, help them get certified through NMSDC to prove that they're owned and operated by a minority. And we pull our resources together and go after large contracts. And not only do we do that, we offer our members several benefits. Tomorrow, I will be doing a Zoom call with myself, Miss Tamika. We'll be speaking on business credit. We have someone speaking on personal credit, and we have a Hall of Famer, Marshall Falk, will be talking about benefits for small businesses. So if any of you guys want to join that Zoom tomorrow, follow me on Instagram, and we will definitely, you can join us. It's free. What we do is we unify, we nurture, inspire, and transform and educate our carriers. And not only just carriers, but small businesses across the country, period. So I would love for you guys to join and participate. It's going to be awesome. Like I said, we have Marshall Falk speaking. He's been doing really, really amazing things in the insurance space with commercial insurance, 401ks, health benefits, retirement benefits. So we want to offer all of this to not only just my carriers, but small businesses across the country and for our people. And Jorie, you know me, I'm all for our people. If you
Right.
see I don't have my picture up. I have the flyer for the Zoom tomorrow. If you guys want to look at that, those are guys going to be the speakers. And thank you, Jorie, for letting me promote what we're doing tomorrow. And it's absolutely 100% free.
No doubt, brother. I mean, anytime that folks are out here doing positive things, I gotta highlight it. I gotta, if I got the platform, it's yours because, it's not like you're hoarding opportunities. You're trying to put people on. Like you just said that you had the largest consortium. That's people coming together, and anything I could do to help spotlight that, I'm definitely gonna do. So, thank
Yep.
you so much for coming up. You know what I
Yep.
mean?
Yep. Yes, sir. And coming together is everything. And now, when I started the consortium, we started with about 400 trucks the first month opening up. Now we over 3,000. And with that, we have amazing buying power, man. We get great discounts on diesel. We have access to parts for equipment, trucks, trailers. We partner with commercial trailer leasing. We work with Target, John Deere, Pepsi, UPS, and I'm pitching in front of Coca-Cola at the end of next week. So all of these companies are realizing that minorities represent 90% of the capacity that's on the road. Small business, diverse businesses. I know these giant conglomerates are on the road and we see them everywhere because they brand it so well. But if you look at all the other trucks, those are small businesses. Those are minority-owned businesses. So we have to pull together to have the buying power, to get the contracts. It's easier for me to go get a contract if I have a group of people and we have 3,000 trucks versus myself with only 27.
Right. I
And,
agree. And look,
yeah,
y'all hear how this brother just be dropping all these major clients he got, customers he got. Like it ain't nothing. We all have to come together, and we're all gonna be trying to get some of those loads from you, bro. All that freight.
hey man, and I do it for the people. Over the last 2 years, we paid out over $12 million to minority-owned trucking companies, and I plan on doubling that this year. And this year is already halfway over, so it's
So
definitely an
let me ask you
opportunity.
a question. How can folks like these gentlemen that's on stage, start
Mhm.
small and big, how can they become part of something that you have going on with your customers?
You guys can go to my website. It's uniteusglobal.com. And you can click the carrier tab and you register. You will be registering just like you would if you was registering for TQL on a load board or JB Hunt. It's the same format. That will give us all the information we need from you. We'll have your email, your capacity, where you like to run, are you minority certified? We assist in all of these things. And everybody that helps us and assist us as a consortium, they are minority owned business. The people that help us get certified is minority owned. Our compliance specialist is minority owned. The insurance company is minority owned. So I'm really, really big on that, because if we don't use each other, who is going to use us,
Right. Right. I agree. Is there any space for, the sprinter vans, the cargo vans, and even box trucks on any of those opportunities, you believe?
Absolutely, man. I closed ePallet. I think I told you this about a week ago.
Yes, sir.
I closed ePallet. That is a box, what is that, like a 2-3 pallet type situation for that fits on small box trucks, sprinter vans, and they send me over loads. I probably get tendered 15, 20 loads a day across the country.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'm definitely going to be hollering at you, and I'm pretty sure these brothers are too, because they got 18 units and about to double
Yes,
their
sir.
production for the end of the year. So I definitely appreciate you for coming up, brother. Look, y'all check him out tomorrow. Follow him on his IG. Click on his page. Go to his IG. Go to his website that he listed out, and just know that he's really out here working for us. He's bringing us
Absolutely.
together and giving us opportunities. So thank you again, Thomas.
Thank you, brother. Thank you guys for having me. And if you have any questions, just hit me on IG and we get your questions answered.
Hey, Thomas. Before you go, man, this is Chris, man. I want to let you know, man. I followed you a lot when getting into it, man. So you never know the people that you influence, man. But I got my own little Mount Rushmore truckpreneurs, man, and you own it, man. So I want to let you know you're doing great. You really inspired me to kind of take the community approach a lot more serious, man. So I want to just kind of give you your flowers. I didn't know I was going to get to speak with you, right? But just while I do, can speak, so I want to let you know, man, you're doing a great thing, and you really inspired me along the way, bro.
Man, you don't understand how much that means to me, man. Being a retired athlete myself, I played professional football for 6 years, man. And I have an internal battle with myself to prove that I'm more than an athlete and that I want to put out something special in the world. And that's my mission, man. I named my company Unite Us for a reason. And I really started out my company trying to unite some high school friends that was in transportation. But you know how that is, trying to go into business with friends, right? and
Yeah.
and look, in a year into business, I was able to unite minority-owned carriers across the country. So God don't make any mistakes. So thank you again, man. That means a lot to me. It really does.
Yes, sir. Keep going, man.
Absolutely. For us.
Yep.
For us, no doubt. Because Thomas, we've had our conversations, brother, and you're definitely an inspiration out here, man. So definitely keep going.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate you again, brother.
No doubt. All right. So look, we did have somebody join the stage, somebody that wanted to ask a question. We have Janelle. Janelle, how you doing today?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me.
No doubt. Janelle, please introduce yourself and let us know what you got going on, and then ask your question, okay?
Yes, Janelle Garrison out of Denver, Colorado. By day, I have a corporate job in commercial claims, and I have a car on Turo, but I'm interested in getting into the last mile piece of it. So I've got 3 questions.
Go for it.
I know someone that entered into the trucking space over the road, and the biggest issue was finding an employee. So my question is, in order to, I guess, maybe attract and retain a driver, because if you don't have a driver, then nothing's happening, do you suggest hiring them as an employee or as a contractor or a 1099?
So in most cases, you're going to, 1099 is probably what's most common, because it's most effective when it comes to just the financial commitment. You know, it takes another level of commitment when you're doing W-2, just because the different, you know, things that you have to pay from that standpoint. So not all businesses can even start offering somebody a W-2 position. I mean, that's just being fair. So I don't necessarily think that, you know, I think 1099 is always our way. But, you know, when it comes to locking in a decent driver, you know, it's just about, you know, one thing is taking your time, looking for the right people, right? And two, just really understanding, you know, what you can pay the person, right, and still be a profitable business, and how can you find ways to incentivize it, you know, giving goals and metrics that people can accomplish that leads to, you know, incentives for them, and that as well can kind of increase retention, you know, and just having a good working environment. You know, being a real leader is one thing to own a van, and to say I'm gonna hire somebody is another thing to like really lead. You know, one thing I always commend Shaq on is, you know, bro, he don't hesitate to hop in the truck, whatever the truck size is, and go deliver packages if that's what he got to do. You know, and I think that as well that speaks volumes, because when the people see him working, you know, they like to follow behind that, and it also makes them aware that if you get acting crazy and you don't want to do the job, like I can do the job. So there are a lot of things that go into it, but just to get back to it, I think, you know, again, starting with the 1099 is more so a position and a strategy to, like, you know, when you're getting started, because of all of the other expenses that come when you talk about hiring a W-2 employee.
Okay, thank you for that. My second question is, Last Mile Legend, during your training that you're offering, do you discuss how to get contracts, as opposed, because you were saying that you don't want to rely on a load board? Do you discuss how to get contracts during your training? And does that also involve government contracts?
Right. So I'll start that from the back end. So in regards to government contracts, we're not necessarily going to speak about how to like acquire that, but we will bring in someone that can be a resource to you, to, if that is the way that you want to go. I highly recommend you be aligned with your local government, because that is a great way to get some consistent business, obviously. So that is definitely something good to understand going into it. We don't necessarily teach that, but we more so can provide the resource where, if this is the space you want to go through, this is the resource to kind of guide you along that way of what the qualifications you need to do something like that. And as far as the contract, so when I made the statement that we're not looking on load boards, we're doing business direct. A lot of that as well, because, you don't see last mile, the package delivery isn't something that's on a load board, right? It's not something they're going to post 1,000 packages, say we need to deliver. Like, it's something that is built within a 3PL, a third-party logistics company that receives goods, needs to cross-dock and distribute those goods. So we're not necessarily going on a load board, but we are like searching for vendors in our geographical area, right? We want to know who is the 3PL company in this space of the map that is delivering the goods, because somebody's delivering them. We know that the major carriers aren't delivering all these goods. Everything being bought isn't from Amazon. A lot of stuff is, but not everything. So what we want to do in our boot camp is, one, provide the different ways you can make money with the cargo van, and then we go deeper into the last mile, because we're going to show you how to get into a local position where you have canvassed your local market and you have contacts with the major 3PLs and relationships with them, so that that way they can be aware of what your business does when it's time to find a carrier like you. So yes, we do equip you with all the things that you're going to need, to be able to present yourself to that 3PL company and say, hey, this is my company, XYZ Van Company. We deliver packages. We deliver excellent customer service. These are all of our qualifications. Now give us opportunity. And then from there, the contracts are birthed from good service, right? So, no one should start thinking, everyone's goal is to get a contract. But when we started, quite frankly, like, we started with one and we're taking whatever they had for us, because we just want to prove that we can do the job. So contracts it is possible, but again, we try to help you unlearn some of the things that people think they really know and really focus on the real way to get opportunity. And that's only through excellent customer service, stepping up to the plate, helping out the decision maker. Because when you help out that decision maker, what you'll see is that they present opportunities to you. We don't go with our carriers that we ship for now, that we deliver for now. We don't have to ask them for anything. They know that when they need something, they hit us up first. This is something that's about to happen because we make their job easier. So that's what we do. We teach you the real way to pursue opportunities and not just pursue them, keep them when you get them.
Got it. Thank you so much. I'm done speaking.
You're welcome.
All right. Thank you so much for those questions. Those are some really good questions. We're going to bring up the next person. We got, if he's still available, we got Henry. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do. And then Alexandre. All right. In the meantime, it's still just the fact that you guys are teaching folks how to not have to be on the low board that just having that opportunity to know exactly what you're going to be doing for that day, for that week even, that is really attractive to a dispatcher like me. Do you guys feel as though there is in the last mile sector of this industry for dispatchers?
Honestly, man, I don't see the need for it, man. Because when you sign over with 3PL, you pretty much you know what you're getting. Only thing you gotta do is just have your team in place to perform the job. That's it. No middleman.
Yeah. So
so
maybe not necessarily as a dispatcher. One second. So maybe not necessarily, and sorry because cut you off. Maybe not necessarily as a dispatcher, but service providers are needed. And I know Shaq can agree with me, but we do need people to help with service and so we may not need to hire a dispatcher, but we may need to hire I got a fleet manager, and when stuff goes crazy, my drivers are calling her, and there's always something to be coached through or taught to. They can't find an address or something like that. So it may not necessarily be like a dispatch, quote unquote, but there is a need for people to research opportunities. It is a need for people to have relationships with the 3PLs to know when stuff is needed. It is an opportunity for people to, be able to, again, service specific last mile, provider needs, which are those type of things, addresses and just the little intricate things that go on day to day that we deal with, tolls and stuff like that. So maybe not, like I said, administrative support is definitely needed in last mile space. If you intend on building a fleet, you absolutely need administrative support, but I don't think it's just quote unquote, a dispatcher, because it's a little bit different.
Okay. No, I appreciate y'all both for, speaking to that. And, even when it comes down to it, a dispatcher is an expense to carriers. You know what I mean? And that's me. I do that. But, you're paying for my expertise. But this is basically trying to say that this is a way, if you guys are interested in learning and wanting to invest in this opportunity, where you kind of become your own direct source to freight, as a carrier. So this is kind of like the gift that keeps on giving. So I'm just trying to encourage folks to, check this program out. Click on these brothers' profiles, go to their Instagrams where I know they have promoted this opportunity, this boot camp a few times. So this is just another, direct statement. Check them out right now. Go ahead there. Now let's go ahead and move on to our next person that just joined the stage. Alexandre, can you please introduce yourself? Let us know what you got going on and ask your question. Alexandre, just dip. Okay. Well, look, we have these two individuals up here who are experts in this domain. If you have any questions, please raise your hand so that we can go ahead and get you up. You can take this time to, get those questions answered. So
I have another question.
Okay, what's up, Janelle?
So starting out, is this last mile something that you have to commit to like a 9 to 5, or could it be done as a side hustle?
9 to 5. Most 3PLs are looking for people who can operate 7 days. If you don't have your business set up where you can operate 7 days, it can be a big opportunity, a big problem for you. Because one of the biggest 3PLs that we operate with, we pretty much started working like 5 days, and as volume increased, they kind of needed people to work 7 days. So for me to have someone to come along who was able to work 7 days, 9 times out of 10, they're going to cut my volume and give it to someone who's available, around the clock. So, that's one of the things you want to think about.
Yeah, and if you aren't in a position to give up the 9 to 5, you absolutely got to know that you have to be able to hire again that administrative person, right? You have to it's going to have to be somebody that is there to answer when stuff needs to be answered for. So it's not impossible to like invest and start one, but you have to have a point person in place that can represent the business and be that person for you to help you bridge that gap when and if you can't be there. But no matter what, when you guys talk about last mile delivery, I agree, 1,000% agree with Shaq. You got to be prepared to have a 7-day operation. So no matter what, it means you have to start with help in mind, because not even you is going to want to drive a van and deliver packages 7 days a week. At some point, you're going to need help to build a scalable and profiting last mile delivery company. It's all about the volume, and you can't deliver 1,000 packages a day by yourself, but you can with a team of 10 people.
The worst thing ever is, getting that call from a driver, hey, I'm not gonna make it today. I'm sick. I got a death in the family, and you having to call, the operation manager of that 3PL and tell them, hey,
yep,
I know I got 3 routes sitting on the dock today, but hey, I can't service them.
right.
You know what he's going to say, right? Hey, I got to find somebody who can do it.
And when you give it to him, and then we give him to what he going to do, it's going to be theirs tomorrow. It's going to be theirs tomorrow.
And question, have you guys experienced, them actually charging you if you're not able to do it once you agree to do it?
I don't think we've been charged, but one thing that we've built, again, we we're blessed, right, to really get into the point where we got some, really good resources that are in our group. Amongst our group, we deliver well over, 5, 7, maybe even 10. We maybe even reach close to $10,000 as a group collectively a day. So we had a lot of opportunity to kind of learn best practices and stuff like that. So I just say that to say one of the best practices that we knew is that we want to overstaff. So we got one van. We want to have 2 people for the van because we know things are going to happen. So we expect, so basically for like every one van, we call it 2.5 people, right? So we want redundancy and we want more than enough support. So that's what and we go into it with that mindset. So when we're hiring, we don't stop hiring because we hired the first person. You don't stop hiring. You keep hiring because people are going to be people and life happens. So, that was just kind of one of the things that we expected. But to answer the question, I don't think we've ever been charged for not doing it mainly because we're prepared for it. So when that happens, like I said, we step up. If worst case scenario, Shaq may call me, I may call him and say, "What you doing, bro?" He say, "Man, I'm in this thing delivering," and I know why. It's because we want to save face and keep our value to the carrier. So I think we pretty much avoided a lot of situations where we leave stuff on the dock just because we are very, very redundant and we keep people on call. We know who want to work and who want to get more time, and we'll call them and say, "Hey, man, I know you doing something today, but I got an extra couple bucks for you if you just come in and help me with this stuff." And if it means saving the business for the day, it's just an expense that we're willing to bear.
Oh, I definitely respect that. Thank you for sharing that insight. We did have a couple more people. We got Alexandre back. Alexandre, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, cool, man. Introduce yourself and let us know what you got going on, and then ask your question, brother.
Hi, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here with you guys. So we've been carriers about a year, and we've been dispatching about 7 to 8 owner-operators, both box trucks and sprinter vans. We do have our own vehicles like the small straight and a sprinter van. So my question to you guys is that we've been researching this Reefer sprinters, and I wonder, like, which brokers have the reefer loads for the sprinters, and what are the load boards to look for?
So I'd say that, and when you talk about a reefer sprinter and reefer box trucks and things like that, those are specialty, niche type things. So I wouldn't necessarily, again, I'm not looking to the load board per se for that. I'm more so looking for like, where are the distribution facilities for this type of stuff? Because that's where you have to hit, because anything you're talking about is more so going to be like something that's custom critical and or something that is like LTL. They couldn't fit it all on the truck, but it still has to be to one place at a certain place at a certain time. So I would more so be trying to figure out like, where are the distribution companies and those and the major people that ship those type of goods, and then trying to build you a contact that can keep you in mind when those type of scenarios rise up. Because a lot of stuff like that is service driven based on like reputation, because they already know. So some of that stuff doesn't even hit a load board because they already have a company in mind that specializes in moving refrigerated goods and that small of, and that type of thing. So again, when it comes to like a real specialty like that, I think you lead with just like contacts, like really lead with emails, finding out, again, the distribution centers by looking at the Chamber of Commerce, and they have Manta that you can look at where you can find everybody affiliated with refrigerated shipping within a certain parameter. And you got to start making phone calls and sending emails and start building relationships so that way you can get, a good resource pool for that. So I can't recommend a load board to you for that. I would go around that and just, like I said, depend on relationships.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Alexandre, thanks for coming up to the stage, brother. And Chris, thank you for handling that. We also have Jessica on the stage. Jessica, please introduce yourself. Let us know what you got going on for your companies. Shout yourself out, please, and then ask your question.
Hey, how y'all doing? I'm in the intermodal business. I got a trucking company, and my thing is I want to get into the cargo vans, sprinter vans, and I was just I missed that code for the boot camp, and I was trying to get that code again to sign up for it.
Inspire.
Oh yeah, it's Inspire, man. All caps, one word, Inspire.
Inspire. Okay. Another thing, for the boot camp, like, do you know what the hours will be?
Yeah, so we start class on between 7 and 7:30 on Thursdays. It just, most times it's at 7. That's the time we call it to start.
Okay.
And it usually about 2-hour block. We have maybe an hour presentation or so, and then from that point it's just about the Q&A. So every night we provide our group an opportunity to ask questions, and then like that way. And if you can't make the time, it's not something you have to really worry about missing, because we do have a private Facebook group, and after every class we go in and we post a link to the class, the recorded version of the class, so you can always go back, watch the playback, write your questions down, and then if you have questions from the first one and the next one, you can come in and, and like I said, and ask them, or like I said, I'll post a question on the Facebook group. So we have some contingency built into it. So like I said, if you don't meet your schedule and you still want to do it, I still think it's a great opportunity. And like I said, we record it, and you still will have a lot of contact with Shaq, myself, and the other admin that we have in our group.
Okay, thank you.
No, you're welcome. Look forward to locking up with you.
Same here.
Appreciate that, Jessica. Thank you so much for coming up to the stage, and even best of luck with your current business too, because I read your profile and you out here. So
yeah.
Keep going.
All right, thank you.
No doubt. All right, Tevin, we got you on stage, brother. Please introduce yourself and let us know what you got going on. Ask those questions.
How you doing? My name is Tevin Facey. Me and my wife, my partner, we are in the process of actually starting a trucking business, either whether it be 3PL, box trucks, or semis. We do dispatching. We have 2 carriers under us at the moment, 2 box trucks. Both have 2 box trucks themselves. So technically we're dispatching 4. We do Amazon stocks. We do real estate as well. And I'm a contractor with conistent out here in New York. So what my question was, I know you guys are going to actually be out in Atlanta September 10th to 12th.
Yep. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Fuck me that tour.
We tribe. I'm tribe. So I'm actually supporting for that as well. I won't be able to make it. A question I had was, as far as for tribe and everything like that, are we going to be able to have something that we can join the boot camp as well? Or I'm just asking because I won't be able to make it, and I know you guys are going to be giving out a greater load of information, and I really want to come, so I'm trying my best to try to even get it.
Yeah, man. Well, absolutely, man. I think me and Shaq, like, we talk about that just about every day, man. We looking forward to getting in front of, in front of that group and really, holding our own weight, on how, there's more than one way to skin a cat, right? So, but yeah, absolutely, man. I'm sure that Kiera's gonna share all that information, with the tribe and everything. But we have a couple things coming down the pipeline, man, that we are excited about, some products we're about to be bringing out. So, and I do know, so after this one, there'll only be like one more boot camp for the year. Yeah, so we're going to do our, and it may not be for the year. Like, it'll probably be the last boot camp, honestly, for a while, just because we got some other things that we're working on building our network. So, if not this go around, like I said, we'll have one more opportunity, and then we'll probably be talking about that a lot at that particular event, like the last opportunity to join the boot camp, because quite frankly, after the boot camp comes, it's going to be peak season, and we're going to be locked in for the remainder of the year, making sure we get our fair share out of peak season. So, but definitely, man, I mean, you're doing the right thing, just keeping up, and your business sounds like it's growing. I think that you will definitely see the value in getting some insight on how to build opportunities in last mile, because I think the same way that you can collect carriers and that, you'll be surprised, man. There are a lot of people out here in everybody's city that have vans that they're just sitting on and they don't know what to do with them. But somebody like yourself will come and show them, hey, you can make, I can help you make $8,000 a month with your van. Just, pay me to operate and manage your van. So there's 1,000 different opportunities and ideas that you could do without even acquiring assets to get started in package delivery. So, but like I said, stay tapped in, man. We would definitely look forward to hopefully getting to meet you soon.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because I'm definitely trying to come, because I know, because I went to the last one, and we've been a part of the tribe for a while. I went to the last conference she had, and it was amazing. The information I was given was amazing, and I know this one is going to be even more sick, especially with the government contract, with Global Leader going there, and you guys, and Trailer Strong, and a couple of other people that's going to be there. I know it's going to be amazing, and I hope if I do get to go, I can meet you guys as well. Question. Another question I had was New York, right? New York and Jersey. I don't know. I know obviously you guys aren't up here. Have you guys seen anything out of the norm as far as the amount of people that's trying to get into the industry out here? Or as far as how many, contracts is out or anything like that?
I mean, so like all bigger cities, right? Those are really, really, dense and heavily populated areas. I know you guys got different labor laws and things like that up like that up there in the area. I'm confident in saying, I just think like nationwide, I think nationwide there's a need for independent carriers to come in and support 3PLs and large carriers at that. So for me, I'm more so just trying to figure out what I always do is any zip code I'm looking at, I'm just going to, search that zip code through the Indeed, the Craigslist, like Shaq stated, and just try to start like where the job posting's at, where's the opportunity, and then just start, making calls and building relationships and talking to the managers and asking, where's some areas you're struggling, where the opportunity zones at. And man, you'll be surprised. They'll give you all the details that they think they think you can help them come solve their problems. So, like I said, I think it's not just a isolated thing. I think everywhere, everywhere there's a need for more people to get out and support and find opportunity, because, year over year, we're looking at the last mile sector to grow 20% year over year. And by 2025, we're looking at last mile and e-commerce transactions to be upwards of 80% of all transactions, period. So we're talking about, 80% of purchases will be done via online in the near future. So there has to be a space where someone can assist in delivering those goods and being part of that end goal process. So for me, it's just like, you have to look at the right now, but you just got to look at the long term thing. And just when you really look at it, it's impossible. So there's plenty of opportunity here.
Exactly, yeah, because out here we have somebody called Lasership.
Yep.
That's pretty big.
Man, we love Lasership, man. That's 3PL. Like I was Lasership is
it's funny. I'm trying to get in contact with them. It's hard as heck because I have the capital right now that I can, if I wanted to, I can get maybe
You gotta pull up, man.
You gotta go there, bro. You gotta go there, man. You gotta pull up on them.
It's funny. I literally just got into a car accident, and I was put on leave and stuff like that. So I was actually
perfect time to get started.
Exactly.
Take a Uber, take a Lyft, go call at the manager, and do what you got to do and get on, bro. Like, and then whatever they got available, take it, and just and for lack of better terms, run the hell out of it. And you show up, and then just stick around, and before you know it, man, you'll be taking the manager to lunch, and he'll be calling you saying, "Hey, man, this person done dropped the ball." And the moment they drop that ball, you pick it up and run with it, bro.
Exactly, and that's what I'm actually thinking about doing. Because I was gonna try to go up there probably tomorrow or even Friday to be like, hey, like I'm here. What can I do and how can I help?
Yep.
And and that's funny that you guys said that. Yeah, because they're out here and nobody picking up.
Yeah, Lasership is a huge 3PL company, man. They ship for a lot of major companies, from Nike to Williams Sonoma to
Fashion Nova.
Fashion Nova is huge, right? We delivered so many Fashion Novas last year. It made my eyes hurt. I got tired of seeing Fashion Nova bags. There was so much stuff in it. So like, Lasership is huge, man. So that alone, being in your area, is a good indicator, right? But at the same time, Lasership has competition. So not only find out who they are, find out who their competition is, and do the same thing. Like that's what you do. You find out who the competitor is in the area as well, because it's somebody, and we find that out. Google search courier services in your Google search with your zip code. Use all the different zip codes from up there, and just keep on going, man. Just don't stop researching. Don't stop turning stones until you find what you look.
Yeah, I've been doing that. There's a new Amazon distribution center about to open up in Far Rockaway. That's where I'm at, and we're a little island, and nobody out here has been is a major deliverer. So I'm trying to even get in the good graces of them to try to see how I can help and be a 3PL for them.
Do it, bro. Do it.
I appreciate all the information.
Yeah, do it, man. Hell, let us know if it's a way that we can help and support you. We got vans.
I absolutely appreciate it. And I appreciate the call and everything. And like I said, I'm gonna try to see if I can get out there in September, because I know the information is gonna be crazy. So I just want to make sure I can try. My brother lives out there in Atlanta, so.
Yeah. Then we got our blue collar CEO. He's gonna be there presenting. You don't want to miss him.
I know he right here. I know he right here. I saw him at the last conference of the oil and gas industry, and I know he got some major announcements coming up too as well. If anybody's on this call, you guys should look into going into that tour. That tour is amazing, and the information you gather from it is like no other.
That's great, man. It's nice to meet you, bro.
Nice to meet you, bro.
Is there anything we can do? Let us know.
Boom, look.
I will. Hey, Marcus, what's going on?
What's up, man? I was just trying to be a fly on the wall.
I knew by the end of this night I was going to bring Marcus up here, or at least invite him, but this was the perfect segue. Thank you for that, Tevin. Marcus, welcome to the stage, brother.
Yeah, I'm just learning, man.
Introduce yourself.
I'm Marcus Jones. I've been in trucking for 14 years. I'm owner of 314 Logistics. We run 27 units. We do oil fill, flatbed, step deck, reefer, and we have a full-service diesel shop in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, where we service, we could basically do anything you need us to do to a truck. I was just being a fly on the wall. I always educate, learning from these guys too.
Oh, no doubt, man. But you here now, and I know you got value to add. You're gonna be a part of the tour that's here in Atlanta, September 10th through 12th. So, I mean, to be honest, you posted something on IG today. I want to ask you about to learn a little bit more about that energy situation. But thank you so much for joining us on stage tonight. I don't know if you guys know, but Marcus is one of the speakers a couple weeks ago, and he let us know about fracking and how to get into the oil and gas industry out in Texas. About that, anybody that's listening, I would definitely encourage you to reach out to that brother. He has some material that is being developed that is teaching people how to go from. So go ahead, profile, follow him, DM him, and get that information. So
Yeah,
it looks like
yeah. I was basically I'm trying to I want to make oil and gas simple and as possible. So that's what we're doing. We're giving people the education that will allow them to go and win. It's a booming industry. They need tons of trucks. But I want to make sure that people don't go in there blind because I've seen a lot of ups and downs in that industry, and I've learned a lot about it. So now I'm able to teach it at a level where you guys can actually win without all the bumps and bruises. I have a course dropping, and then I have at the end of the month, and I have a big announcement on what I'll be doing to help someone win. Help someone get into the industry.
Okay, bet. Hey, man, I love people that are here helping other folks. So thank you for that. Y'all definitely reach out to him. Be on the lookout for that big announcement that he has going. So, I appreciate you, Marcus. So transitioning to our last question of the night, or at least the last person that's joined the stage, we have Jeff. Jeff, are you there?
Hey there. My name's Jeff.
Hey.
I'm in Northern Cali. I've been doing a lot of research lately into starting a box truck business or reefer truck. My understanding there is that, you can basically get started with one truck and then you hit the load boards and just take whatever loads, that come your way. And then, if you need a break, you just, don't take loads. But from what I'm hearing with you guys is like for last mile, the 3PL companies are kind of expecting you and pushing you to take, do delivery 7 to 7 days a week. And like you said earlier, like that's too much for one person to take. So my question is, what's the minimum number of like vehicles, vans, and drivers that like realistically you would need to get started to, for the 3PL companies to take you seriously and to work with you?
Man, you could start with something as simple as your car. A passenger car, even a little caravan, the family, soccer mom, caravan with the seats out. But also you have to sit back and think, where do you want your company to go? Do you see yourself, a year from now, doing this, with multiple vans, or is this just another source of income? So you kind of have to evaluate the situation and see what's best for you.
Yeah, and I think overall, one of the key things you said was what, for the carriers to take you, the shippers to take you serious, 3PL take you serious. And again, they take you serious when you're getting the work done, and they don't, and like for Lasership, for example, they don't care what we delivering in. Like I've seen some people deliver some packages and that, and in my mind, I'm thinking to myself, like, I could never, but they just care that the person is delivering on what they said, on what they set out to do, the stuff they put into their vehicle. So, like Shaq said, you can get started with whatever works for you, right? Whatever fits your budget, whatever, fits your ideal fleet size. And every operation isn't going to be 7 days for the most part. Like with box trucks, I have some 6-day operations, some 5-day operations. But, again, that's why you hire according to that. So you want to always have something there to support you. So if you're the main driver, you want to start training somebody to be the person that helps you when you have to take time off, right? When you find that one person that can be the driver for you, and then, you don't stop there. You continue to hire, you continue to build the culture in your operation. So, but it's last month's all about service. It is all about service, and those that are looking to get into it, you have to be prepared to, to get to that side of it, the HR side where you're, managing people's problems that you don't want to hear about, all the different things, because it all impacts your day-to-day operations. So, but just to answer it though, the carriers take you serious based on your actions. So
Service level. Yep.
Yeah, don't go into it thinking I have to have a certain amount of vehicles. Go into it thinking I have to make sure that the day when they do call me, when they do, call my name and call me to the game, I'm going to show up and show out. That to them is going to stand out a lot more. They can work with you and everything else like that because they see that you are determined. They see that you are, trying to train people the right way, that they see that you take doing the extra and really being a good partner to them, making their job easy. They will work with you. They will work with you. Say, yeah, I got one truck this month and then next month I'm gonna get my second truck. They okay with that because you have goals and they have goals and everybody's here to do one thing, and that's profit. So as long as you're working with them, invest in those relationships, you'll be fine. They'll work with you.
Thanks for the answer, guys. That was awesome.
No doubt.
problem,
Look,
Jeff.
I wanted to add one thing to that. This is a recent experience of mine, and I went to visit a warehouse where I was learning of some opportunities, and it was the type of situation where they're paying you a guaranteed minimum per day. And just to kind of like piggyback off of Chris's point of them just working with you, they said that they understand that they get more value by having, trucks that are a little bit larger so they can get more product to deliver out. But they were even willing to work with people that had, a 16-foot truck when their preference is a 26-foot truck. If the conversation is there that you're going to be working to get something more in the future. You know what I mean? So just having that candid conversation with the person, the head person in charge, that would actually allow people to get on these local Atlanta delivery contracts. That was coming straight from him. It wasn't even about the equipment that you had up front, as long as they saw it was something that you were working towards, and they believe that you can actually get to that next level. So I just say keep on pushing, brother. Keep on pushing, Jeff.
Thanks, guys.
Essentially, now is about the time that we're about to wrap. We've been on now for a little over an hour and a half. Shaq, Chris, man, I appreciate you brothers so much. Did you guys want to drop your websites and all that kind of good stuff one more time for people in the back that didn't hear?
Again, startsmallinbid.com, promo code INSPIRE. We're looking at, I think we only got about 7-8 more spots left. So, we want to see.
5.
Okay, 5.
5 slots. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So, just like my partner said, for everybody who's looking, you're here for a reason, right? It's not difficult. Success is simple. It's just simplicity. Simplicity scales. All that fancy stuff fails. So when you jump out there beyond your means, when you jump out there into the real water and you get these huge pieces of equipment and you don't really understand, you can put a bad taste in your mouth and you can do some damage that can't be reversed. So, for those that are willing to be patient with the process, to understand that we all got different paths to get to different destinations, but nonetheless, your path is your path, and you are willing to, get in the trenches, get people to help support you and just work your way into being a real scalable, real sellable business, right? Just lastly, there's opportunities that are coming available to us that we could have never imagined. I never in my life knew that FedEx was something that I could buy into and be a part of until, one of my closest friends at this point is taking off with FedEx. So, and I would not even be able to understand how to pursue that opportunity had I not have the experiences that I have now. So now when I get that opportunity, I'm ready to go. I know how to manage a team of people. I know how to get the job done. I know what I'm looking for, but it's only because I was humble enough and confident enough in my ability to succeed and excel in anything I put my mind to just get started. So if you are willing to accept that, understand that this is a way for you to enter into an industry and go from there wherever you decide to go. This is a great opportunity, and it just so happens that what used to be frowned upon and looked at crazy is going to become eventually one of the most dominant things you're going to see. The last mile sector with electric powered vans and little whatever is delivering packages is going to be what's happening. You give it some years, the micro distribution centers, the smaller fulfillment centers, these warehouses are going to start to have an effect. And when they start to have that effect, it's going to be about the shorter and the smaller vehicles that can be more efficient and get things done a lot quicker and meet the demand for people to get goods same day, next day, 2 days from now. So don't look at the right now. Look into the future. Do your research on last mile and look at the type of numbers that this industry is going to create over the next 5 to 10 years. And you tell me you don't want to be a part of that for getting in with lower cost equipment, easy to hire people, equipment that you can drive if you don't have a non-CDL. You know, it's just so many benefits. We're going forever. But at the end of the day, you know, that's my spiel. I hope everyone sees the opportunity. And if not, then so be it. But somebody hear me. And we got 5 slots left, and we really do this every single day. And we want to make sure that the people involved with our boot camp can come out and say, like, you know, I'm a part of a very valuable network now, and I don't need to do anything but to stay right here and focus on my lane.
Hey, well said, brother. Well said. You have definitely got me to the point where I want to be a part of this thing. I want to learn this information because I see how valuable it is. So, look, y'all, take advantage of this situation now. This is early. I mean, I don't want to say that we're early adapters here, but it's only getting bigger. It's only going to grow more and at a more rapid pace. You know, speaking with these brothers the other day, they let me know that the major players are already, you know, up in their force. They're getting their stake already set. Their market share is increasing by the second. So this is an opportunity for you all to know that you're able to get in something that's expanding rapidly. So that's all I wanted to say about it. You know, you've heard everything, and I just would encourage you to do it. So again, I just want to say thank you to Shaq. Thank you to Chris. I appreciate y'all brothers for, you know, putting this boot camp together, getting this information in a spot where you can teach other folks how to be successful in this industry. And, you know, your willingness to even share, you know, the proprietary stuff that you guys have learned. Thank you again. You know, at this point, we're going to be closing out the room. I just want to say every single week, the Transportation and Logistics Clubhouse gets support from a large community, and I'm just so grateful. I'm so appreciative. You know, each week we're trying to get bigger and bigger. This right here was, you know, a phenomenal study. If there's anything that I can do for the people who are listening right now, if you got any topics, any programming you're hoping to see, please reach out to me. You can just, you know, go to my Instagram, or you can email me. Just let me know. Go to my website, submit a comment, www.atlantadispatch.org. Just let me know. So, Chris, Shaq, did y'all want to say anything to close the room? Because you already just did a great thing, Chris, but I just wanted to at least give the opportunity.
Again, man, I just want to thank you, you know, for allowing us to come onto your platform and, you know, give the game to the coach. Appreciate you.
Oh, anytime, brother. Anytime. That's all I got to say about that. Thank you, brother.
Okay, man. Thanks a lot for the opportunity, man. We'll talk to you guys soon. If anybody needs anything, feel free to reach out to us.
All right, now. All right, everybody, y'all have a great one. Thank you again. Peace now.